share with you uh, how you are how you can and how you are gonna size the new flat centers that I just listed on my Etsy. So let's start. Like for example, this is your design space, and you know, I just wanted to clarify that once you had purchased and ordered it, you need to download the files and then save it. So I will show you how. So like for example, this one, you will see, you will get the zip file. With Mac users, the only thing that you will do is to click it and it will automatically unzip. See, there's gonna be another folder here. And then once you click it, all the files that you downloaded uh, belong. But I will also try to link below. I will try to add a link below on how you can unzip file using Windows. So let's say for example you have your design space, you have unzipped your files, and the next thing you're going to do is to upload it on your design space. So I'm using Cricut Design Space here. I will try my hardest to also accommodate all Silhouette users, but this is for my Cricut user buddies. So first of all, you need to click this icon here, which is gonna direct you to upload your files. As you can see, I have already downloaded some here, but for the sake of this tutorial, let's try to do it, manually one by one. So go to your browse, and then as you've seen earlier, I saved all my files on my desktop. So here you have all my files already, but since we're doing this tutorial, let's click this folder where all our new SVG flat centers are located. So let's say for example, let's use this flat center 1A, and just click it. Just click it and then click choose. It will automatically go direct to your design space. If you need some editing, like for example, if you are uploading JPEG, you need to clean this through, but since this is an SVG file, we made it easier for you. You don't have to clean things around the flat center because it's already been cleaned out. So all you have to do is to put whatever your file name that you want to use with it. Make it sure that it's gonna be a file name that you will remember, and make it easier for you when you are trying to locate whatever files you want to find, and then just save it. So once you save it, you can see your file in the recently uploaded images, and then all you have to do is click it. And actually, if you already have uploaded 6 of them, you can multiple click everything and then insert it all at once. But for the sake of this tutorial, let's just upload one file like so. So there you have your flat center. Now the next question is, how are you going to size your flat center for you to be able to use it on your flower? So most likely when I use flat centers, I try to layer it with 3 layers, so it will give you a nice variation and a nice dimension on your center as well. And the way how I do that, like for example the center, depending on the size of your flower, like for example if you have let's say a large one, and it's gonna be most likely 18 to 19 or 20 inches flower, so it's gonna be an awkward for me, it's gonna be an awkward flower when you have like a 3 inches center on it, right? So we will try to size it, for that size of flower. I must say that uh, the largest center that I'm gonna use is gonna be like 6 inches at least. So that's gonna be our first layer, and for us to be able to layer it, what I want to do is to have three different layers with gradual sizes, smaller as you go, uh, inward or attack from the other. So this is now our 6 inches, which is gonna be our first layer. The next thing we're going to do is just to duplicate it and make sure that you are not going to touch this lock uh, button here, because if you will do, you will distort the size of the center, and we don't want to do that. Although you can do that with some petals if you want to recreate it into different designs, but I would suggest that if you are uh, doing this with flat centers, just leave this lock button here, and then just resize it smaller as your uh, previous one, your largest, just slightly smaller. And the reason why we do that, because we want to create a gradual layering on our stamens, and for me it's nicer if it's not, like every stamen is clouding one atop of the other. So it's pointless that we are putting layering if that's the case. So that's our second layer. Then the next thing we need to do is just to click this one. You will know that it's active because you will see this highlighted square here. It will indicate that it's highlighted and it's active. It's the active element in your design space. Just duplicate that one again, and as I said earlier, just leave this lock button below and just resize it, like equally, like the proportion from your second largest to the first largest is the same with your second to the third stamen. So now the problem is, how are we going to position it in our paper so we can utilize the size? We can utilize most likely like 11 inches by 8.5 inches paper. So the way how I do that, you might want to, tweak this one a little bit. Like, see, if you are going to position it this way and you are laying your paper on your mat horizontally, so it's most like, imagine this is your paper. So if you are going to lay it horizontally, it's going to be 11 by 8.5 here. But the problem is, even just laying it this way, it already exceeds to our 11 line. It's most likely 11.25. So what we will do is, try to find a way to sneak it a little bit closer, like so. So now it's no longer 11, but it's right on the line of 11. But one tip for you guys, as what I experienced with the calibration of my design space and my cutter, most likely you have to stick on this 10.75 line to make it safe for your paper. And instead of placing your paper all the way here at the top, I must say that you have to move it like in this area here, like a little bit down and a little bit moving towards your right. So because this area in here, I will show you later, uh, there's gonna be a space that the cutter won't cut, so might as well, take advantage of that area so you can have more space to create a safe space for your cutting. So now we must stick this, we must stick to 8.25 line also for our, you know, cutting to be safe. And when we position our last petal or last center in here, you can see that it really just, you know, overflow. So what we can do is we can move this one or just try to, you know, rotate it in a way that uh, it's gonna be favorable on your side, like so. And then let's just move this in, and you see it's most likely that it fits a little better than earlier. But even doing so, uh, you see, I told you that we need to we need to stick on the 8.25 line here. But the problem is we are even reaching up to 9.25 lengthwise. So what we can do, just select everything, like make everything highlighted, and in that way, you know, you can resize everything, and it's gonna be proportion also. So you will just drag it smaller until you reach to the line of 8.25. So now we can say that it's safe for our mat to cut this one into our cutter. So it seems like we're ready enough to press make it. But as you can see, it repositions our flat center. You know, the I think the system itself repositioned this one in a way that it's gonna be easier for the mat to cut, and that we don't want that. We are going to stick with 11 and 8.5 paper. So as you can see, it even reaches to 10 point something in here. It directly gives you an option of a 12 by 12 inches paper, which we're not gonna use. So let's go back to our design space and fix it. And it hangs for some reason. Okay. So I know it's there, but for some reason it just doesn't show up. Just highlight the three, and even though it's not showing in here, you will see that the three are all highlighted because it's all turning into darker gray here. And what we can do so it would stick into its place, you know, when we are moving into our mat, you need to click this button here, like attach everything together. So you see, it reappears, thank God. So now we can proceed into making it. Why is this tripping? See, it's very safe, you know, when we lay it horizontally. This is the line 11 here. So we did not even reach up to, you know, like half of an inch close to the cutting area. And into our 8.5 horizontal line here, we are very, very close. And for us to make it a little bit safer, that's what I told you earlier, you know, that when we are going to position our paper horizontally into our mat, you can see this line here. This is the outer line of your mat. We need to move a little bit closer because this is gonna be a free spaces here on the side. We need to move a little bit downward and move a little bit right into our mat, like a quarter of an inch maybe, or maybe just, slightly. And it will give us additional space like this much here, and it will be safer for our paper when it comes to cutting into our machine. So now you can just click continue, and there you can have your flat centers. And what I normally do, when I just lay the flat centers to my flowers, one atop of the other. So I start with my largest flat center, and I don't do anything in it, just flat center. And then the next uh, flat center I'm going to lay in here, I'm going to like slightly fold this one upward, like upright, just enough to elevate from the previous layer. And I make sure that this long stamens here will go on the side with the shorter ones from the previous flat center. And I will do the same with the third one. And I think it's most effective if you will, as you lay the three flat centers together, once you're done doing it, it would be nice if you can put some bling in the middle, like a crystal or a pearl or whatever, you feel like suits your design and style. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial helps you, with the new center that I just listed on my Etsy, and I will also uh, put the link below on my Etsy shop, so you can just, grab your own sets of center to elevate your paper flowers to the next level. So thank you so much for your support. Bye bye.